Tibbs and Mike Brown are forever going to be linked, especially at the start of the Knicks season. So here's what we're going to do here. Have a little fun. We're going to compare coaches and their schemes a little bit with Dexter Henry, host of New York Got Game. And of course, we're going to break down and talk a little Knicks Celtics as well. Dex, thanks for hopping on, man. Not trying to add anything to the fire here or start or instigate anything. It's just, people are going to talk or compare Mike Brown to Tom Thibodeau. So let's talk offense first, because 9 times this year the Knicks have scored 40 or more points in a quarter. Are the Knicks better off offensively with Mike Brown schemes or Tibbs?
Yeah, and I think it's okay, Brandon. I'm not going to call you messy here or trying to instigate or anything like that. Knicks fans have been talking about this. It's been a common talking point, and this is goes on with us in the media as well too. How does this team look defensively and offensively under new head coach Mike Brown as opposed to Tom Thibodeau? Now, you asked about offensively, and you mentioned the 9 times they've had 40-point quarters this season, which is really impressive. But here's the thing. I think they are better offensively under Mike Brown, and it's reflective. This is not just the fact that they're a top 5 offense right now. They're 3 right now in terms of offensive rating. Knicks were top 5 offense last year, but this looks so much different. There's more versatility. There's not as much ball domination by Jalen Brunson. The wealth is being spread around a little bit more. We're seeing Josh Hart thrive in this. We saw OG Anunoby thrive in this offense as well before he got hurt. We're also seeing Mikal Bridges look way different than he did last year. He is actually finishing at the rim. He's having a very efficient season, and you can argue he's been the most consistent Knick through their first 19 games. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the shot diet too, Brandon. They're getting up more threes, but it's quality threes. It's how they're hunting those threes. They're getting into the paint. They're spraying the ball out. The shooters are hitting it. Josh Hart is shooting 45% from downtown, which a lot of people did not see coming. We'll see how sustainable that is. But this team just looks more modern, dare I say, offensively. And I think it's a good thing for the Knicks because they needed to maximize this offense. Now, the defense can get a little bit better too, and I'm sure we'll get to that. But right now, I think this team is much better offensively under Mike Brown than they were under Tom Thibodeau.
Well, let's get to the defense right now, because I was, doing my research on the internet. I read that during this current 4-game win streak, the Knicks have a defensive rating of 106.3, and that's without OG. I know it's only 4 games, so two-part question here. Do you feel like they're starting to come into their own defensively, and are they starting to be better defensively under Brown than Tibbs?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, yes, because they were in the lower teens in terms of defensive rating just a couple of weeks ago. These last 4 games have done wonders for them. They're now, according to Cleaning the Glass, they're up to 14th in defensive rating. But I don't want to say this doesn't matter, but we have to look at the opponents, right? Over the last 4 games, they played the Nets, they played the Hornets, they played the Bucks and the Raptors. Now, I think what should be noted here is they have not given up, above 109 points in any of those games. And so that is impressive, especially without their best defensive player in OG Anunoby. Now, the quality of competition in those first 2 games, not so great. But look, you have to take care of business against the teams that's on your schedule, and you have to put the clamps on them defensively. And they did that against the Nets and the Hornets. I think where you can really be impressed with this team without OG and Anunoby is what they did against the Bucks, a Bucks team that had Giannis Antetokounmpo, a player that the Knicks struggled to defend in their first meeting when they actually had OG Anunoby. And then a Raptors team, yes, they had no RJ Barrett, yes, no Jakob Poeltl in that game, but this is a Raptors team that was top 5, top 6 in the league in offensive rating, and they slowed that team down. They had a really good defensive performance in the first quarter, and then you saw it down the stretch midway through the third and the fourth quarter. So I think they're starting to understand, Brandon, the defensive principles of Mike Brown and how he wants to play. They're playing a little bit more in the passing lanes than they did under Tom Thibodeau, and that's boded very well for players like OG, like Josh Hart, like Mikal Bridges. But I think the defense was always going to be in progress. Something I've talked about a lot in New York Got Game is, can this team get somewhere between, a top 8 to top 12 defense? Right now, they're around 14. Can they get a little bit higher? If they can do that with what we just talked about, how good they are offensively, then that is the bones of a championship level team. And I think they just have to get a little bit better defensively and show they can get stops against elite offenses and teams that have a bit of length. And then I'll start to feel good. But I do like the way they're trending, to answer your question. I do think they're trending in the right direction.
And some of these performances, the defensive performances that you're kind of highlighting, they're without Mitchell Robinson as well.
Yep.
So, and they're on the first leg of a back-to-back tonight in Boston. Then they come home to the city on Wednesday to play the Hornets. Mitch Rob is supposed to play tonight, but he hasn't played in a back-to-back all year. Two-part question. Do we ever see Mitchell Robinson playing a back-to-back all season, and does he need to?
I wouldn't bet on it. I'd lean to no, especially with the way the Knicks have managed his load management. Which I was going to say his injury management, but there's no defined injury. But we know he's had previous injuries. The way they've managed it this season, our Stephen Bondi has talked about, and Mike Brown talked about this to the media just a couple of weeks ago, and that his agent is a huge part of this. We know Mitchell Robinson is an expiring contract. We know he's looking and seeking a new long-term deal. He and the Knicks haven't had any talks about that. So his camp, they want to be very protective of him not getting injured. So I do not think that we will see Mitchell Robinson in back-to-backs this season. I think they're going to play it safe. I think his team wants to play it safe. He wants to play it safe. Now, I've talked about this, and Steph and I talked about this after the Nets game in a video, and I was saying to Steph, I understand all that, but the best ability, as you know, Brandon, is
Yep.
availability. And if you don't show you're available, that's not good. Now, somebody might say, hey, Dex, I hear that. But when you get to the playoffs, there are no back to backs, which is absolutely true. But you do want to see, and his value is going to be, well, how much can you play in the season? Whether it's with the Knicks or his next team for that next contract, part of his value is going to be how much can you play through the season. So if he can't play, I'll just throw out a number. If he can't play 70 games in the season, well, that then brings his value down. Although we know how great he is defensively, how good he is on the offensive glass, but the way this season's gone, Brandon, I just don't see Mitchell Robinson playing in any back-to-backs. I think the Knicks are doing the right thing, playing him in the front end of this back-to-back against Boston. They have Charlotte tomorrow. That's a game the Knicks should be able to win without him. So I think they're handling it right. But yeah, I'd be stunned if he plays any back-to-backs this season.
All right, let's talk the Boston game. They're on the road, 3-5 on the road so far this season. I say this loosely. Since they've struggled on the road, in terms of confidence, is this a must win?
Must wins in December are just, it's too early
But
for
I
must
mean, I
wins for
mean
me.
confidence.
Yeah,
Confidence, getting the juice, getting the juice going, sparking some sort of momentum. The Garden is one thing, but playing
right.
in other arenas, you're gonna have to win games on the road in the playoffs. So that's what I mean. Like just putting together good basketball on the road. Would this be a must win?
Yeah, I think so because it's a quality opponent. Look, this Celtics team, they're top five in the league offensively. They're playing good. They've knocked off some good teams. They just stopped Detroit when they had their winning streak. They just knocked off the Cavs the other day. They're 11-9 on the season. They have probably exceeded some people's expectations. So this is a good win. This is a place you want to go up and win. I know the Knicks knocked the Celtics out the playoffs last year. This is not the same Celtics team. They've made a lot of changes, but this is a team that looks like it should be a playoff team. And Boston is always a tough place to go and play. The Knicks want to get some road wins against quality opponents. I think that's the thing for me, Brandon, right? To the point you're making. You want to see them get road wins against quality opponents going forward. Celtics are a quality opponent here. Do I think they're championship contenders? No, but I do think it's a quality opponent for the Knicks. And listen, they started off, not well on the road this season. They've picked it up a bit late on the last road trip where they won 3 out of 5 games. So they've been better lately on the road, but you'd like to see them do this against a quality opponent. And yeah, I won't call it a must win, but I think it's a good, I will say that you had a good win against Toronto at home. You're 10-1 at home, as you were just alluding to, and how well. But now, can you continue this good week and the good vibes, make it 5 in a row with a quality win here, following the quality win against Toronto here in Boston against the Celtics? So I would say it's a game you should be keeping your eye on. I'll put it like that. And it's a game you looking at the Knicks and saying, hey, you got to show me something. Look, if they lose, is it the end of the world? No, because it's a game against Boston in early December. But if they win, it's not also the biggest thing ever. I do think it's a nice feather in their cap, and you'll get to a game under 500 on the road, and you can start feeling good about yourself and saying, okay, we can go win some games in a row. Because, like you said, Brandon, you're going to have to do that in the playoffs.
Absolutely, man. You in the playoffs, you're going to be having the watch parties as well. This seems like a playoff game in December. You're doing the watch party. Go ahead, promote that, man, to let the people know how
Yeah,
they can tune in.
Yeah, they can tune in tonight here on the New York Post Sports YouTube channel. Myself, Brian Fonseca, will be hosting the watch party. We have a guest friend of the show, friend of New York Got Game, my guy Andrew Claudio of Knicks Film School. He's going to be in studio rocking with us, watching the game. Andrew, I'm positive, will bring a lot of hate for Boston, and I'm sure that will be welcomed by all the Knicks fans. It's going to be a fun one. We know it's not the same Celtics team, but look, anytime you get New York against Boston, it's good. Brandon, last night you were just watching
Yeah.
Giants and Patriots. I'm sorry that that did not end the way the Giants fans would like, but hopefully the Knicks can, take care of those guys up in New England tonight and bring some good vibes back to the city.
Yeah, I feel okay about last night. The Giants can't hurt me no more. Plus, the Patriots, when I go back and forth with all the Patriots fans, I still got my Super Bowl ring from 2007. So it's
Oh,
all
look at
good, man.
at you with the
Petty.
flex out here.
Got to be petty,
I
man.
like it.
Got to be petty. I've resulted to
Hey,
being petty, man. I have to.
Hey, sometimes you got to bring that energy. I'm sure the Knicks are going to be talking that talk about how they knocked off the Celtics in the playoffs last year. So, Knicks fans are always going to have that because that was a special series, just like you got your Super Bowl ring over
Yeah.
the Patriots. Can't nobody take that away.
Well, Dex, appreciate you, man, and you guys turn up at the watch party tonight.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.